Hello, this is Richard with the Society of Field Inspectors. I want to talk to you a little bit about inspections, and I did receive a telephone call, and I also received an email from a notary agent up in the state of Virginia. And I lived up in Northern Virginia for a very long time, and I was a real estate broker. I had my own company. I was the principal broker. And I also did some inspections on the side. I was kind of out there running around Northern Virginia and doing real estate, and I found that I could do some inspections and just make some extra money. Okay. So here are some questions that I received from a notary up in Virginia, and I want to answer those for you. The first question was, what are the anticipated startup costs? In other words, what does it take to get started? And what I found is that the costs are very small. And let me tell you why. You don't need a commission of any kind like you do if you're a notary. There's no licensing requirements. Virginia and every other state doesn't require you to go out and become a LLC or get a special type of license. You don't need business cards. I had business cards, of course, when I was a real estate broker, but I never had business cards when I was an inspector. You don't need any insurance. Some companies may ask you to get some, insurance or something, but I would just ignore them because the large majority of companies don't require you to have any kind of insurance to do the inspections. Uh, as far as equipment goes, for the normal taking of photos, you can just use your smartphone, and that's what I did. I had another camera, but I really never used it for inspections. I just used my smartphone. It was so much easier. So the startup costs are really insignificant. Uh, much less than if you were a notary getting started up. So that's the answer to question number one. And I guess number two was, does it require any specialized equipment? And the answer is no. If you're a notary, you have a scanner, you have a printer, you have a smartphone, so you've got everything you need there. So I wouldn't worry about any specialized equipment because really none is required. The third question was, is it a steady business for an inspector, or would this sort of thing be best approached as a filler work to work around other notary assignments? Well, here's the way it works with almost any business you start. You can't today say you're an inspector and tomorrow be one. You have to do some marketing and get some jobs and kind of work the process. But so there is, it's a filler when you start. Okay, I guess that's the right answer. And what you're going to be doing is doing some part time work. You're going to kind of pick and choose the companies you're going to work for. You're going to find the work that best fits you. And that work is going to be primarily commercial with maybe some insurance inspections. And we kind of hang around with the better quality companies here at Sophie because we want you to have a good experience, and we also want you to make some money doing the work. So the commercial is best. The commercial is best for the higher pay. It's also best because the work is interesting. It's also best because the work is friendly. Okay. And we want you to be safe. And that's very important. When you're out doing inspections, you need to feel comfortable when you're doing those inspections and not under a lot of stress. Now, the segment you want to stay away from absolutely are the low fee mortgage inspections because these inspections don't pay anything, probably $5, $6. These companies are also going to require you to have a specialized insurance. Um, and a lot of these inspections are inspections where you're knocking on the doors of delinquent borrowers. So you certainly definitely want to stay away from those inspections. Because when you're knocking on the doors of delinquent borrowers, you never, never, never know what is on the other side of the door. And you certainly never, never, never want to go uninvited into a backyard and be peeping in windows to see if a house is vacant or occupied. That's just not something you want to do. In fact, there was a case here a couple weeks ago in October of this year, 2025, where an inspector in Stafford was knocking on the door of a delinquent borrower, and the borrower came out as he was moving away from the house and shot him 3 times in the back and killed him. So you want to stay away from anything that's mortgage related. And that's very important because you could get hurt or you could get killed. And again, with the commercial inspections, they're friendly. Okay. The company you're going to visit usually can't get what they want until you've been there. So they're going to welcome you and they're going to treat you right with respect. And that's where you want to be. You want to be doing primarily commercial with maybe some insurance inspections. And I think it's very important that you deal with the better companies that'll treat you better, have more respect from you, more respect for you, and who will pay you better. So the fourth question I received was what kinds of things are field inspectors sent out to inspect? Okay. And again, you want to take and kind of home in on the commercial stuff. And you're going to pick and choose. You're going to pick and choose the companies you work for. You're going to find the ones that you're more interested in, and it's a pick and choose. And everything in life, you pick and choose. You find the very best, and you ignore what's not good. Some of the inspections that I liked when I was doing inspections in Northern Virginia was something like a business verification. That's where you would go out to a business and uh, just verify information. To give you an example, in Culpeper, I did an inspection for a cardiovascular clinic. And this was in Culpeper, and they were near the hospital. And I called them up and I said, "Hey, I'd like to come by. I noticed that you're trying to get access to some background checks when you're hiring nurses, and I just need to, come by and just check to make sure that you're really a cardiovascular clinic and ask you a couple questions." And they said, "Fine, no problem. We need you to come by." And I said, "Well, I'm going to be in that area to this afternoon. I'm going to be there between about 1 and 4 o'clock. Can I come by in that time frame and take a look?" And he said, "Yeah, fine. Come on by." So I was going to be in the area anyways, and I took and went by there. I took a picture of the sign out front that said Blue Ridge Cardiovascular Clinic. I took a picture of the address numbers on the building. It was a single story, single building in front of the hospital. There was a sign out front that did say Blue Ridge Cardiovascular Clinic. Went inside, there was a bunch of people sitting there in the office, patients, and a bunch of things around there that indicated that they were cardiovascular specialists. Okay. And I talked to the administrator there and asked to see a copy of his business license, and he showed that to me, and I took a photo. I asked to see the container that they were going to store this background check information in, and I wanted to see that they could lock it. So they put a key in the lock, and I took a picture of that. And I said, "Can we, do you have an empty examining room that maybe I can go down there and take a picture of that?" He said, fine. And we walked down there, and there was a room with the paper on the metal table and the EKG machine there next to the table. And I took a picture of that. And I said, well, I've got everything I need. Thank you very much. And I left, and I took, 5 photos, and I was out of there probably in about 10 minutes. We chatted a little bit about some information, but nothing related to the job. Okay. So maybe about 10 minutes. The inspection paid $50. Okay. And I submitted the photos in a short form, a fill in the blank, check the box form. Like I say, I was out of there in about 10 minutes and it paid $50, and that was okay. $50 for 10 minutes worth of work is not too bad when you figure out what you're making hourly. I've done other kind of inspections. I've done merchant credit card account verifications. That's where someone maybe is working out of their home and they're, putting together jewelry. They're making some jewelry or bracelets, and they want to accept credit cards, when people show up to pick it up, or when they order it online. Okay. And so you're there just to verify that they have a product which looks like they're selling, and you kind of give them an okay, and they can get a credit card, a merchant credit card account set up. So that's another type of inspection. Collateral inspections. I've done construction equipment where you're just verifying inventory. I've done music stores, just other places where they have products and they, somebody needs to come by and just check what's there and what's been sold. I've done John Deere dealerships, and so collateral inspections are nice. And the important thing is all these inspections are friendly and they're safe, and that's where you want to be. And you're going to pick and choose, okay? And everything you do in life is picking and choosing. And with inspections, you're going to find the ones you like and get more. You're going to find the ones you don't like and avoid them. The fifth question is, can the pay make it worthwhile? And I think so. A lot depends on where you're located. Up in Fairfax, up in Northern Virginia, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of inspections to be done up there. That's for sure. And you start moving down into Orange County, or I don't know, some of the counties down south where there's fewer people and it's more rural. It becomes a little bit more difficult. But again, up in Northern Virginia, it's no problem. You can move it from a part-time job to a full-time job, or if you're a notary, you can just keep it as a part-time job. And it's like notary signings. You kind of pick the things you like when you're a notary, okay? And there's some parts of notary that you don't like and you stay away from it. And there's some parts that you do like and you work more to kind of get all your work in that one area. And so that works with inspections also. You're going to find things you don't like and just don't interest you, and you stay away from them. And then you find the things that you really, really, really do like, and then you work very, very, very hard to get more of that work. Question number 6 I have on my list are, how do pay cycles usually work with these companies? Okay, that's a good question. And I would say most of the companies, maybe all of the companies pretty much pay either weekly or bi-weekly, or you get a paycheck every week, or you have to wait 2 weeks to get paid. I would stay away from any companies that pay monthly. That's just too long to wait to get paid. And companies that can't pay you every week or every 2 weeks and have to pay you monthly, that just kind of means they don't have any money in their bank account. They have to depend upon themselves getting paid by a company before they can pay you. So they really don't have money in their bank account, so they're having to wait to get paid, and they make you wait to get paid while they wait to get paid. So I would certainly not work for any companies that couldn't pay you every week or every 2 weeks. So I've answered the questions, and so now what's the best way to get started with field inspections? Uh, you need to be smart. Uh, we have a package called the Business Starter Package. If you go up to sophiestore.com, you'll see all our products up there, and all our products come with a satisfaction guarantee. So what's in the starter package? Well, what we do is we mail to you by priority mail a national field service directory. And this is a directory of, like I say, the higher quality companies with the higher pays and the interesting work and the safe work. And for Virginia, for Northern Virginia, in fact, for all of Virginia, that's going to list about 65 companies that cover Virginia. And again, these are the higher quality companies that you want to work for. It's in a printed directory. We mail it to you, priority mail, and it comes with a satisfaction guarantee. The second thing in that package is we design a resume for you. And we've designed thousands and thousands of these resumes over decades, and we know they work. It's a one-page flyer that says who you are, what you do, and where you do it. It's very bold, it's very bright. We realize that you have about 10 seconds to get the attention of a inspection recruiter, and we make the resume such that you do get that attention. And it's in a one-page flyer type format. We give it to you in a PDF format so you can attach it to an email and send it out. And again, it's just a real attention getter that really works and calls to attention what you do and where you do it. The third thing we give you in that package is we make ourselves available to answer your calls and answer your questions when you have them. When you're starting out, you have questions, you need quick answers, and we make ourselves available to make sure that you start right and stay on track and keep focused. So that's the three things you get in that starter package. And you can find that at www.sophiestore, and that's SOFI store.com. And like I say, that'll give you a real good start. I'm available. I'm here in Florida. I used to be a snowbird and traveled from Virginia to Florida a lot, but now I'm in Florida full time. Florida is, in fact, the land of paradise, and I'm available to talk to you on the phone. Call me. You can reach me at 352-324-6042. And I would be happy to answer any questions you have about getting started and giving you good advice. I want to make sure that you're successful. So, like I say, I'll get help you get connected with the higher quality companies and tell you how to get going and what to do and what not to do, and make it a good experience for you. So I've answered the questions I was asked, and there's some more videos that you can watch at the YouTube channel. And you can also go up to the Sophie Facebook group. If you go to www.sophiefacebook.com, it'll redirect you to the Facebook group, and you can join the group and read all the posts up there. But like I say, call me if you have any questions and we can chat. But I'd be happy to help you get started. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day.